Good evening and welcome to Mystery, Murder, and Mayhem's update from the Murdaugh murder trial for February 27th, 2022. And I'm just going to get straight into it. Well, the morning started off with the defense and the prosecution giving a timeline of when they expect to wrap this trial up. Both sides are saying that they will be resting their case no later than Tuesday afternoon. And I think that's pretty dang exciting because we've been sitting through this for going on 6 weeks now, and this is the part we've been waiting for. Those closing arguments, all that good stuff, and then we're on verdict watch, just waiting for the jury to come back with their verdict. We get a little bit of anxiety and nervousness and all that goes with it. Well, after they discussed that, Harpootlian said that the defense would like to suggest letting the jury vote to see if they wanted to go see the Moselle property. Now, most of the time, I have heard of juries taking their field trip to see where this or that happened at. But I've never heard of letting the jury vote to see if they wanted to go. And, the prosecution, he was against the jury voting for that as well. And I don't blame him, because one thing that was brought up was that it could give give the jury some time to do some premature deliberations, and of course we don't want that. But Judge Newman, he did say that he would grant the jury the opportunity to view it, but he was not going to let them vote for it. Then, after the jury was seated, the first witness of the day took the stand for the defense after those matters were cleared up. And that first witness was Dr. Jonathan Eisenstadt, and he's a forensic pathologist. Now, Eisenstadt had previously reviewed the autopsy report from Dr. Ellen Reamer, and he gave his opinion on her findings. He agreed with most of what she found, but the main thing that he disputed that she had said was that his opinion was that Paul had been shot by a contact blast, a direct contact. And what that means is, the barrel of the gun was actually pressed against his hand. And, Dr. Reamer believed, and you may recall from one of my updates, that Dr. Reamer had believed that the gun was somewhere around 3 feet away from Paul when it was fired. Well, after him, the next to take the stand for the defense was Connecticut-based forensic scientist Timothy Palmbach. And Palmbach testified that he believed that a lot of brain matter and blood would have covered the killer on the night of Paul's and Maggie's murders. And he also agreed with Eisenstadt that the barrel of the gun had to have been pressed against his head when the trigger was pulled. But to me, perhaps the strongest part of Palmbach's testimony, as far as strengthening the defense's case, was that he strongly believes that it was 2 shooters that were responsible for the murders instead of just one person. They took a little lunch break, and after that, Alex Murdaugh's younger brother, John Marvin, took the stand. And he mostly talked about his love for Paul, and, he talked about Alex and Maggie being a happy couple, and then he went on to give some details of his interactions with Sled after the murders, and most of what he had to say was not favorable for Sled. He did not they didn't make a good impression on him, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Well, at the end of the day, the defense rested their case, so y'all were getting close to it being over. But get this, right after resting their case, the defense made their second motion to have the case tossed out with what they called a directed verdict. And it didn't take Judge Newman long at all to deny that motion. Now, tomorrow, the state plans to call no more than 5 witnesses for rebuttal of evidence that had been provided by the defense. And it's believed that Colleton County Coroner Richard Harvey and two of Murdaugh's former law partners, they're Ronnie Crosby and Mark Ball, they are among those that is supposed to take the stand again on Tuesday. Now, once that stage of the trial is completed, it's expected that the jury will visit the Moselle property and then closing arguments will begin, which could take up to an entire day. And some news outlets are reporting that jury deliberations could begin as early as Thursday. So, see y'all, we're getting close to the finish line on this one. It's been a long, hard marathon, but we're getting there. But anyway, that's all I've got for tonight. I'll be back with tomorrow's update around this same time tomorrow night. Y'all have a good night.